I'm out of Coyote passes. I'm remeasuring things. I'm just trying to figure out what's the best configuration. I don't know the answer.
Hello, you guys. Welcome to Happily Ever Reality. Today we are talking about sister wives again because that is just the season we're in right now. And I had to start this video off with that clip of Cody out there at Coyote Pass because when I did the recap for this episode, I didn't bring that up at all. It was just a part of it I overlooked. But when I was watching Mykelti and Tony on Patreon, they were talking about it and Tony thought it was hilarious. And now that I look back on it, it really was. Are you telling me Cody is out there still trying to plot out the land? Is he still trying to draw up lines on this property? How many times can this man do that? You know, in the past, we've seen him out there cutting down trees a number of times. I'm wondering if he was like, I need to go out there and look like I'm doing something different. So that's what he decided to do. But Tony brought up a great point. Is he really out there after all of this has happened? Is he out there trying to figure out how it's all going to be divided up? He has to know they're not going out there. So it was actually brought up that maybe this was old footage. I don't know. But it is funny if you think about it. I imagine he has to come up with things to do. And this was just what he decided to do. He's probably tired of the tree cutting. I also noticed something else when I was rewatching this episode, and I'm going to show you guys so you can see it. First, I want to show you Christine talking about Mykelti and Tony having the twins.
Is the day before the twins are going to be born. They're going to be born tomorrow. Isn't it so weird you can schedule a day for a birth?
You know, Christina's one of those people. She is very animated when she talks. You can tell she's excited about something. She expresses herself clearly. At least that's how I feel. So when she's talking about that, I can see that she is genuinely excited. Now watch Janelle.
I'm excited for these little babies to come. Really excited.
When Janelle is talking about this, she has a huge smile on her face. And I'm going to show it without the sound so you guys can keep looking if you want to. It's clear she's really happy. She has a huge smile. She is just expressing her happiness over this. Now watch Robyn.
This is a really big deal to me, and I'm excited to be there and be grandma.
Her lips are saying one thing, but her face is saying something completely different. And I have always had this issue with Robyn. Why does she look sad all of the time? She's saying, I'm excited about these kids being born, and she still doesn't look happy. What is going on there? And before you're in the comments giving me a hard time, I understand that not everyone's a smiley person. I understand some people have RBF. But even when Robyn's talking about something that should make her happy, she doesn't look happy. It just feels odd to me. I don't remember her being like that in the earlier seasons. Like, think back to when she first joined the family. She would really smile. Like, she had a genuine smile on her face sometimes. Here she is talking about something that should be happy for her, and she can't even fake it well. She was not smiling at all when she said she was excited. And I kind of worry that Brianna and Aurora are going to follow in Robyn's footsteps. And I know when they're on the show where they're talking about things that make them sad. So of course they're not grinning ear to ear. But I don't know. There's just a feeling of sadness there. And I wish that wasn't the case for them. Even watching game night, it didn't feel sincere. I felt like they were trying to come up with something to film. It almost felt like a fake happiness. You guys can let me know what you think about all of that down in the comments. There was something else I thought was interesting, and that was the whole seating arrangement situation. You know, Cody said when he went to Logan and Michelle's wedding that him and Robyn were sitting in the corner. Mykelti actually explains what happened. She said originally her and Tony were going to go, but then they realized very close to the date of the wedding, she wasn't going to be able to attend. They had assigned seating at this wedding. So Michelle and Logan didn't want a table that had a bunch of empty seats. So they started rearranging people and moving people around. Cody and Robin originally weren't going. They mentioned that on the show, and then they decided they were going to go. So they had this situation where people were, changing whether or not they were coming. Logan and Michelle were moving people around. According to McKelty, the room was circular, and so there wasn't really like a dark corner with Cody and Robin. They were just moved further away from the family. So that's what happened. I felt like McKelty really wanted to explain it so Logan and Michelle didn't look like they were being mean to Cody. I think she wanted to make it clear that wasn't the case. Another thing I found kind of interesting was the part of the show where Janelle says she feels like Cody and Robin have some parenting issues, and I believe she used the words poor parenting. Well, Tony and McKelty are watching this, and Tony actually comments. He feels like the way that Christine, Janelle, and Mary raised those kids versus how Robyn is raising her kids is very different. And he says in Robyn's house, Cody and Robin are putting way too much of an emphasis on sheltering those kids and putting too much of an emphasis on Cody being present. McKelty adds that when she was growing up, it wasn't just that Cody was spending time with other wives, it was also that he traveled for work. It was not uncommon to go weeks without seeing Cody. So my question for you guys is, do you think the show has played a role in how Robyn's raising these kids? Do you think any of her sheltering them and being overprotective is because of the outside world and the criticisms that people have of the show and their lifestyle and of her? I mean, Robyn's the wife that people dislike the most. They have the most negative things to say about her. So she's protecting her kids. She's doing it in a way that's different from the other wives because of that. I also wonder how much of a role Cody has played in this situation with the older kids specifically. Imagine living in a house with him, and all the stuff we hear on the show is the stuff that he's saying to you and your mom and your other siblings. I don't think he talks to Saul and Ari about this stuff, but I imagine Brianna and Aurora and Dayton overhear all of this. And so they hear Cody, their father, someone they trust, someone they depend on, saying, the family's treating your mom bad. Those other kids don't like your mom. They didn't want you to be a part of the family. They're disloyal. They're making bad choices. They're doing things that could make our whole family sick and put us in the hospital. I mean, they've been doing this for years. Like, Cody has been a mess for a long time, and they are living in that house with him. I wonder if there's a part of them that just they have a fear of gaining independence because the outside world doesn't look like it's that great of a place. I imagine if Cody is talking this way on the show, he's talking this way at home. And I want you guys to think back to the last season. I believe it was the last season. It might have been the one before. But it was when they did this storyline where Aurora got her ears pierced and she had to ask permission and Cody went with her. We have that happening in Robyn's house. In the other houses with the other wives, we have watched these kids join the military, leave home, get married, have children. And I understand that Brianna and Aurora are young. There's no reason to rush into any of those things. As a matter of fact, I think some of the other kids, might have done some of that stuff maybe younger than they needed to. I think some of them should have waited a little while for a few of the things they've done. But it still feels weird when then you look over and you have Aurora who's so eager for Cody to take her to get her ears pierced. I wish, and I would watch this, I wish that we could see Aurora and Brianna saving up money to get their first apartment together and listen to them talk about it. That would be more entertaining than listening to them sit there and cry, reliving these things in their lives that make them sad because Cody and Robyn need them to do that on the show. I would rather them sit there and be smiling, telling us all that they're getting their first place, that we get to see their apartment. We get to watch them pick out some furniture. They could add that into the show. They're always looking for a story there. McKelty had her babies. We heard about Logan and Michelle's wedding. Let's see Aurora and Brianna do something that doesn't involve pandering for Cody and Robyn. So last week when I made a video about Mykelti and Tony, I brought up the fact that Mykelti said that she thought Mary had taken out a loan for the bed and breakfast. And I was like, man, I don't remember that. I remember the story was she didn't get a loan. Like that was what my memory of the show was. So I asked you guys, did I miss something? Have I forgotten an episode about this? And it was unanimous. Everyone agrees there was no loan from the Browns to Mary, which makes sense. That's what we've heard the entire time. Mary did this herself, and Janelle said it. I can only assume that because Mykelti was living her own life and out of the house by then, that she just didn't know what happened, and maybe she had heard about an episode involving a loan and Mary, but she was wrong. And I'm not surprised. Janelle would know more, and Janelle said Mary did it herself. I trust Janelle more than Mykelti when it comes to this stuff. And I think if Mykelti is going to guess what happened, I do think she's going to lean in whatever way is negative for Mary because of their relationship. So I think there's some bias there, and it's understandable. But you guys all agreed with me. My memory is correct. There is no loan from the Browns to Mary. Mykelti also talked about the fact that they are no longer close to Cody and Robin since they moved to North Carolina. She said when they lived in Utah, they actually saw Cody and Robin pretty regularly, and Archer really loved playing with Cody. Archer just gravitated toward him. And you know, when Cody is in a good mood and he's being energetic and outgoing, I could see a kid really liking that. I think there is a nice side to Cody. I just don't think we see it that often anymore. So it doesn't surprise me that, you know, little kids would want to play with Cody. And of course, when Mykelti and Tony were watching the episode, they had a lot to say about her giving birth. It was clear that they enjoyed rewatching that. But that was really it. Before I end this video, I do want to say something that's kind of steering away from Sister Wives for a moment. In September, this channel had its 2nd birthday, and that's probably not a big deal to anyone else, of course, but it sort of was to me because I started this just for fun. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how to edit videos. I didn't know anything about audio. I didn't know how much content I was going to be able to come up with. I had no clue. I just knew I wanted to try to do this. In my wildest dreams, I would not have imagined that there were going to be people subscribing to it. And again, this is a small channel. It's not huge. I just have over 7,000 subscribers, but I remember when I got 100, like screenshotting it, like 100 people subscribed to my channel. And when I got to 1,000 and I had the 4,000 hours and could be monetized, I was blown away. I could not believe 1,000 people would subscribe. I had views on my videos, and they were going to let me potentially make some cash from it. Absolutely blown away. And by all means, this channel hasn't like taken off. There's been no viral videos, but I like this. I like the way it is now, and I'm okay if growth here is really slow because I like that this feels as if it is a community. I recognize usernames. I recognize people coming back again and again. I know certain people prefer Robyn or Christine or Janelle. And the best part is 90% of the comments are kind. Like they're just expressing an opinion. They're not bullying. They're not making fun of other people. There's that 10% that do, but overall, it's just people wanting to share what they think about the show or their opinions or their life experiences. And I really, really enjoy this. I'm so thankful to the people that have subscribed and commented and liked my videos and given me advice. I've gotten constructive criticism like, hey, your audio is not good. Hey, that clip isn't showing up well. I realized pretty early on that people don't like the static on the TV I would show. So I had to pull the static out of the videos. I feel like everyone has been so nice, or at least most of the people have been very, very nice, and I appreciate it. Since I brought up monetization earlier, I do want to talk about that for a moment. There was a time early on I had a commenter say, I don't like the show you're talking about right now, but I'm going to watch the video so you can make money from the ads. And I was like, you definitely don't have to do that. But I was newly monetized. I had just started the channel, and this person was just letting me know that they were supporting what I was doing. And I was very, very thankful for that. I'm going to be honest, I don't make a lot of money from this. I never expected to, but it's done things like give us extra spending money when we go on a trip, or I was able to pay my daughter's braces off faster. I had a few payments left, and the YouTube money helped me put an end to those dental bills. And I'm just thankful for that. I'm thankful for how this has all turned out. And I just want to let you guys know I really appreciate all the support I get here. I can't believe that so many of you have subscribed. I feel kind of silly saying it in a world where people have, 500,000 subscribers, and I'm so excited for 7,000. I just did not think I would have this. I didn't think it would continue on. I figured I'd make a few videos, no one would watch, and eventually no comments or anything. You get bored and I'd move on. So I just want to let you guys know how thankful I am that you're all here. So that is it. Before I get mushy and weirdly emotional over this, I'm going to go. If you guys like the channel and haven't subscribed yet, I hope you'll do that. Go ahead and click like if you like the video. And on Monday, it's time for another Sister Wives recap. So I hope you'll come back for that.